Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up. I know everybody's getting ready for big old Thanksgiving, but first, let's get our weather. Brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Highway 77. We're looking at a high of 70 and a low of 54. A pretty day again. Water temperature remains at 70 degrees, and it's looking really nice all around on the water. Just really, yesterday was beautiful, and today's going to be the same way. Tomorrow, Thanksgiving Day, we've been blessed with having some good weather forecast for Thanksgiving. Looking at river reading brought to us by by Watson Landing Marina and Dry Storage. Now they're pretty close to each other, but it's two different outfits, okay? Now listen, we're looking at a Appalachian cold at Bluntstown is at 11.3 and starting to drop out a little bit, continue dropping out, and it's going to be still in double digits, but I got a slow drop to it. The Choctahatchee at Caryville at 9.8, and it's dropping out a little bit, and it's got a good slow drop to it. Both rivers are falling just a little bit. And again, that's Watson's Landing Marina and Dry Storage. We're going to try to get those folks to come on the show. They're good sponsors and new sponsors with us, and got a good situation over there, about 2 minutes east of the Harrison Avenue. Okay, now let's take a look at our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Good strong tides today and the rest of the Thanksgiving holidays. We're looking at a low tide this morning at 6:30 and a high tide tonight at 8:50. We got a good 2-foot tide, and the marine forecast is going to be coming east-northeast at about 10 to 20. So it's going to be blowing. You want to get out of that wind if you can, but it's going to be some good tides. But getting ready, don't forget we have those winter tides coming up next month or two, and those low tides will be real low, especially with north winds. But right now it's just east-northeast, and that's why we have some of that cool air. It's going to swing back around and bring us some of that warm air. All right, take our break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We've got some pictures lined up for you. I called two folks this morning to get a sort of a midweek fishing report. I talked to Sea Quarters Marina, and it's a little slow down there, but they are catching some fish, a little bit on the small side. They're all getting ready for big Thanksgiving. They're right around the corner from that big Christmas party, too. So things going well down there. Everything, beautiful weather, they said, and it's just a great day to be on the water anytime down there. It's been a little windy, but you can hit the backside of some of those islands and have a really good day on the water. But it has been a little bit slow. That's from Sea Quarters. Then I called the pier and just got a verification on what we'd heard, talking about those king being caught on Sunday. And yes, and I knew they had. I talked to the boys or texted those boys that had caught them, and they had caught a couple of kings on Sunday, which is really good. Also, and I talked to Carrie. Carrie reported that last week they had a little run of pompano. He said caught about 10 or 12. And he and I both agreed it was a very weak run this fall on the pompano run. I've been saying that all along, and I'm getting verification from different people in different places. It's just been a slow run on pompano, but they did last week. You just got to be out there when they come through, and some guys were there, and they caught about 10 or 12. He also he pointed out that also the flounder, catching some flounder also, and some bluefish off, and the pier's been, it's been steady. Hadn't been anything to write home about. Been a little steady, but I tell you, with this activity, you saw the big Shark Frenzy video. It was all over the place. I was going to show it here, but I'm sure you got to see it in a lot of other places too. So, all those sharks. What happened this past 2 or 3 days? We've had one of those warm fingers come out from that body of water, that warm temperature, and that's why you saw those kings being caught. You saw the shark activity and those pompano latter part of last week. So all that was just a little bit of warm temperature coming through, and they were feeding off those bait fish. A lot of bait fish around, and got a lot of reports on that. So anyway, we're going to pass those 2 reports on to you. Okay, let's go to some pictures now. I'm always preaching wildlife photography and outdoor photography, and I get pictures all the time. To me, this is just a beautiful picture of a young deer in St. Andrews State Park. That would be a photographer's paradise. You get out there because you got all kind of wildlife, and it's all natural out there. So great picture right there. Now this one's a little bit on the humorous side. I'm not laughing at these boys, I'm laughing with them because we've all been there. How about some boat motor trouble? On Monday morning, remember how cold it was the day before yesterday? It's Clarence Rathfield, his buddy. Clarence is swimming back, and actually he was on Burnt Mill Creek, and he started having boat motor trouble. It took him 2 hours to get back to the landing, and going to find out he had fuel line trouble. And we've all been there. I don't know if I'm going to swim 2 miles, so I'm going to wait for somebody to come by and pull me in. But good job, Clarence. And that's wanting to get outdoors. I like that. All right, you might hadn't decided what you're going to grill for Thanksgiving. How about a little crocodile with a chicken in his mouth and bacon wrapped around it? That don't look even good this morning with bacon. This is funny. This is Steve Williams from Funac Springs sent this to me. Now, y'all remember these old Melps? Melps have been in business a long time out of Wisconsin, and they used to buy squirrel tails. I remember the old Field and Stream magazine. I saw these ads, and my brother and I was fascinated because we shot a lot of squirrels, but we figured it's just too far to ship them. But Steve ran across the other day. I'm going to enlarge this. I'm going to read you the care and handling of squirrel tails, okay, right here. And I don't expect you to read. I'm going to read it to you. Tails are best on squirrels taken after October 1. Now, remember, they start getting that winter coat. Do not remove the bone. It tells you all different different things. What I found interesting, here was the price now. If you send them under 100, of average be 16 cents. That'd be $16. And that's a lot of squirrels. But what about over 1,000? You could get 22 cents each on average. So and it goes on. It brings a good point up here. The fact that squirrels are all hair, no fur, and they really like making flies and all that. Squirrel tails, those little spinners there. Anyway, I appreciate you sending that. That's just a good one. Now let's get a couple more things on the duck report. I want to talk about the duck report. These you can go to Ducks Unlimited and on their website and get reports from all these little blue dots here. And I check them every now and then, especially here in Florida Panhandle. So I checked out last night. Actually, I checked 2 of them this morning. I put this map up last night, then I tapped in this morning in Destin. That one right there in Destin, we're looking at, the guys were saying over there in Destin, they saw 3 snow geese, and the migration is increasing. And then my second one came from Pensacola, and on this past weekend, a duck hunter over there limited out, and he was north of the Scamby River. So he had a good time there. So that's some reports. So anyway, also, if you don't have anything else to do this weekend, how about just going down to Carabel and sitting in the rocking chairs at Seaquarters Marina, and that's just a good place to relax. It's a different world down there. Just very relaxing. It makes you relax when you get down that way. Okay, also coming up this weekend, this Saturday now will be, we talked about it before, license-free weekend. You got some folks coming in and want to fish and don't have a license, take them out. They can fish off the back porch right there, or you can take them out to a dock somewhere or in the bay, or just, if you want to do something Saturday's always special after Thanksgiving. All right, that takes care of this segment. We're going to take our break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanksgiving weekend coming up traditionally is a hunting weekend all throughout the Panhandle. I was looking up some notes I did last year, and I added up all the land. We have over 1 million acres of public land here in the Florida Panhandle through all the wildlife management areas and places to hunt. Over 1 million acres of land to hunt. That is amazing. That's an amazing fact. But from the Florida Panhandle area, from Tallahassee to Pensacola, that's a huge area. So I'm thankful of it. I hope some of y'all get to take advantage of it, and I certainly want to do it myself. So let's go from hunting to fishing. And one of the things, people always talk about hook sizes, and most of y'all know I collected fishing tackle for a long time. A lot of times I buy old tackle boxes, and sometimes I go to these shows and buy store displays. And I just had a bunch of junk, really, but it's fascinating to me. One of the things I got, I just thought was cool, and I've held on to it. Some of the stuff I sort of resold and gave away, but this right here was a hook size chart by Mustad, and it's an old chart. It was over about 6 or 7 years old, but a lot of times people, the best way to learn on hook sizes is to actually look at them on a little display here. And I always like this one. This is a 1 hook, and then let's go down, okay? 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. It's, the larger the number, the smaller the hook, if that makes sense to you. Sort of reverse and sort of hard to explain to students, but that's the smaller size. You can, of course, get them on down into fly fishing, get them way on down. But then you add, it's a 1/0 hook, 2/0 hook, 3/0. When you add a 0 behind it, add a 0 behind it, see, it gets larger and larger, and that's hook sizes, and that's so important when it comes to fishing. We're talking about the size of hook that you're going to be using. So what I want to talk about next, we're going to talk about sheephead today, because sheephead, see, fall is fading. We only got a couple weeks left of fall, and winter's here, and one of the best fish to catch in the wintertime is sheephead, and it's two. And we've talked about it before, and a lot of people, let's see, I don't know, Jeff, if that'll work or not. This is just one of the old single hook rig, and what you do, I'm gonna hold the top end, the terminal end up top, and you just put a piece of lead on top, a little egg weight lead at top, and a lot of people fish for sheephead this way, and the problem with it, the sheephead they're known as bait stealers. They're going to try to, and they're adept at stealing your bait. You just don't feel the bite. The best way is what is called a drop rig, and what you do with this one, I don't know if you can see it here. This is a 2-hook rig. It's sort of like my pompano fishing rig. Okay, on this end, top end, you're gonna have to tie the line. No lead here. All right, then next you're gonna have a hook up top. Okay, I'm gonna pull it on down, and then you're gonna have a hook on the bottom here. And then you're going to attach the lead to the bottom, okay? So the lead will be attached here, and you have 2 hooks, and the advantage of a drop rig is you can feel that bite better because you're not going through the lead. The lead's going to be at the bottom, so you're going to feel that wiggle, a little bit of bite up here, okay? And it makes a lot of sense as on the single hook rig, that lead is going to take away some of the feeling of getting that bite. And that's so important that you are able to feel that. Also, sheephead now, when you're fishing for them, they're areas, special areas. They love rock piles, like at the jetties. They love bridge pilings. They love any kind of, right on the edge of deep water, like it's coming in the pass, like a West Bay. Those bridge pilings there. And I'm going to show you on the map on the second segment some of the places you can actually go. So a lot of people, I've talked about it before, take like a hoe handle and got a scrape inside and just scrape off those pilings and chum them up. Now remember, you can't chum them up with oysters. Oysters are pretty well protected, but all the crustaceans, and the best way to do it is to scrape it off the side, the best way to chum them up. I was thinking also, the best bait, if you can find some fiddler crabs this time of year, get a bucket full of fiddler crabs and hook some fiddler crabs on there and get on the down current side of those pilings, and it's a lot of fun. But if you chum them, then if you're chumming, and this is a piling right here, and the tide's going this way, so you want to fish on this side because the chum's going to be drifting this way. All these little things too. And I've told this story time and time again because my dad told me this story time and time again. He and his best fishing buddy, Emery Moat, drove down from Quincy to Apalachicola to fish that bridge. This one had been probably in the 50s or maybe 60s, and it was a long, long time ago. And both of them were good outdoorsmen. They loved hunting and fishing, mainly fish together. But they drove down there when the sheep in the wintertime, and Emery Moat caught 51 sheephead, and Dad caught 2. And that made their whole year talking about that story. They laughed about it. And what it was, Emery was on the side where the current was going, and Dad was on the front side of it where the current was not going. And Emery wouldn't let go of his spot there, and they laughed about it. And but it was fun. So that just shows, they're fishing the same area, and it just shows what it was. I never will forget that. So anyway, keep in mind now, the best bait, like I said, fiddler crabs, and then next would be shrimp. Any kind of little crab or crustacea would be good, but it's hard to get a lot of crustaceans and keep them on the hook. But shrimp is always good, and take some peeled shrimp and just, you don't need a big live shrimp, and just a small shrimp, and a smaller the hook, you don't want a big hook on it. You want a size about a size 2 hook is good for sheephead, okay? Now, a couple other things, let's see. I wanted to give away, and I can't find you see my pickle jar anywhere? Did I have it anywhere? I was wanting to give away some stuff, but this is Wednesday, and we give away stuff on Friday. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff have to add that to his resume, pickle jar finder. But let's do our Tarpon Rock Seafood giveaway today, because we're not going to have time Friday. We're going to have a video on hunting on Friday, and tomorrow we've got some stuff coming up too. So let's go ahead and do our giveaway. $20 gift certificate. And I got some of the nicest emails. Let me read this email too. I'm gonna read it. Let's see. Hey, Coach, remember Monday or Tuesday we had our Monday we had our oyster, our guest on talking about oystering and all, and I got a nice email from Larry Malka up in Defuniak Springs. We've got a lot of viewers up there. Hey, Coach, I very much enjoyed Monday's show with the oyster professionals. Please have them back on sometimes. They were well-spoken and filled with info. Thanks, Larry and Gail up in Defuniak Springs. Thank you for, when I get those emails like that about, what do you like or on the show, or maybe if you didn't like something, I really take them to heart, and it really means a lot to us, so I appreciate that. And we are going to have them back on the show again. They want me to go oystering with them, but I want to warm up a little bit. We may go during Christmas break. All right, here's going to be the winner of the $20 gift certificate. Now, what I'm thinking of it too, I'm going to empty the jar out at the end of the year, and we'll do this every year, so everybody has a re-register starting in January, but you're going to be okay now. And if you won a prize during the sweepstakes, you're not in here anymore. So these are for folks who have not won. And the winner is Carl Key of West Panama City Beach. Carl Key wins at $20, and they'll be open. They'll be open Friday. And I tell you what I would do. I'd put that $20 down on a bag of oysters and pay the rest of it. I love oysters this time of year. And now the winner of the red snapper, I'm going to go inside of one. Sometimes they get folded up inside. So this one's been folded up inside. And Ted Gagney up in Lynn Haven. So Carl and Ted are the winners. So we're going to, what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and set up, I'm going to, on our fishing report, I'm going to do a little bit different today. Instead of giving just a wide fishing report, we're going to look at some places that you can go catch some sheephead, even here during the holidays. So let's take our break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Tarpon Rock Seafood their report. Instead of the end of the week, we're going to call it a midweek report, but we're still going to get something done on it, okay? Because I got to thinking last night, we got to touch base with them. But let's do our fishing game time brought to us by Mark Coward, Accounts Real Estate. You can see our times right here. We're looking at a time from 11:20 to 1:20 today, right here in the middle of the day, right here. And then this evening, we're looking at 11:50 to 1:50, okay? That's our times there. So. All right, now, anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about sheephead. Let's sort of concentrate on the sheephead. I'm just going to show you some places to go. We just talked about rigging up for them. And again, this is, there are just times of the year to catch them and places to go. They're going to be prevalent in these places. Let's start on the western end of our viewing area. I'm just going to go ahead and start down here, over here at Saltahatchee Bay, the Destin Pass here. You got some pilings here. You got a good bridge right there. There'll be sheephead caught there this winter, I guarantee you. Then both bridges, over in Saltahatchee, both bridges are going to be holding sheephead, okay, right around the channels there. Okay, let's work our way on down the intercoastal. Let's go on into West Bay, and that's one of our favorite spots right here, the West Bay Bridge. There's some really nice places to fish around the West Bay Bridge. That's going to be holding them really good right there. And coming on in here, let's go up to the Lynn Haven Bridge. A lot of times we don't talk enough about it. The Lynn Haven Bridge will be caught, there'll be sheephead caught off there, and also up here at Deer Point Dam. And I heard some good reports. There's been some big drum caught up here recently, some really big drum, surprisingly. I saw the pictures, and I don't think I showed them to you, but anyway, let's go on down here now. Move on down here, and these pilings, the sheephead. Right here, of course, the Hathaway Bridge would be a good place too. And then, of course, later on when they start spawning, you want to look at the area right through here, the jetties, the rocks right through here. There's going to be some good places to, and I've done some video here on the east rocks here, and they love these rocky areas. And they're going to be caught. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Y'all can see the rocks right here. In fact, I'm going to show you exactly. See where it comes in here. The boat's going to be, the guides and everybody else going to be lined up in here in another month or two as they come here to spawning. They'll be spawning on this side of the rocks here. For some reason, they like it right here better than anywhere. But now you're also going to be able to catch them here on this side too. And we got to get them away from rocks. Okay, let's move on down. We're working in an eastward fashion. Let's move on down. Actually, the Tarpon Rock Bridge will be a good place too. But anyway, let's go to the Tyndall Bridge. The Tyndall Bridge right here. There's a lot of fish caught around the Tyndall Bridge. And and good spots to go. So I'm working on both sides here. Somebody does a dock here that it gets a little bit deeper. They're gonna catch some sheephead off the dock here, but on both sides here there'll be some sheephead caught. Okay, now let's move on down. Let's go on into past it. This is not Crooked Island, not a good place for sheephead. It just, you know, you don't want to spend a lot of time there. Mexico Beach Canal, right there, the canal. Okay, you'll be able to catch some sheephead right in here. You're going into the canal there. There'll be some sheephead. It won't be real big ones. Okay, move on down before we run out of time here. Let's go to of course, one of our favorite spots. We talk about it a lot. The right at Highland View Canal here, and that's going to be right there at the bridge, Highland View Bridge. There'll be some good sheephead caught in there. And also there's some rocks up in here and some big size. All through this canal, there'll be some sheephead coming in here, and we'll talk about that. Even down here at what we call the T, that spot right in there. For some reason, there's some good sheephead there. And also the Intercoastal Waterway, it's so big we won't have any. We'll go right in here to White City, okay, the White City Bridge. Now, sheephead, they're like brackish water, so they'll be all up in here, all right? And then I'm running out of time, but we've got to quickly get down to one of the top places to go would be in Apalachicola Bay, off the Apalachicola Bay Bridge, if I can find it. I know they got a bridge here. Here it is right here, okay? The best one, okay, is the main bridge. This one I'm talking about my dad and him remote fishing off of on the East Point side. Really good fishing right there. I'm gonna run out of time. Also the St. George Island Bridge, the old bridge here. These two bridges right here probably that would be the premium place to catch sheephead in the Florida Panhandle. I've had good reports there. I've fished it over here before, and also on this side, close to Apalachicola, you can fish from a boat, you know, on the pilings there. I'm running right out of time. We're gonna don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We've got a special Thanksgiving show lined up. You're gonna really enjoy it, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So hope you enjoyed today's show. I certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. Thank you for watching. Do something good for your fellow man, and get ready for Thanksgiving. And God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.